Lauren, hello, welcome.
Hello.
It's so good to see you, and I'm very excited for people to get to know a little bit more about you and your incredible work and the things that you have already done, the things you want to do, all the things. So, to start off, could you introduce yourself and let people know more about you?
Yes, well, thank you for having me. My name is Lauren Knabel. I'm originally from like Baltimore, DC area of Maryland, and I just finished up my degree at SCAD with a major in photography, specifically focused in fine art, and a minor in fashion photography and business management.
That sounds like a lot of things. Why don't you tell us maybe some of the, I don't know, the courses that were like most instrumental in your college education or some of the things that you learned and you're like, yeah, this is what I really want to do, or I took a piece of this and a piece of this. Like, yeah, tell us a little bit more about some of what happened during your studies.
Yeah, so it's funny because I would honestly say the classes I've taken outside of my major have been the most informative. Because I took this like postmodern contemporary literature class, and it was just so interesting because we were like diving into all of these um, like different novels from the past and other just like short stories and discussing them, and like that idea of postmodernism really like seeped into my brain, and I think having like a more literary understanding of it informed the work in a different way than just having like a visual history in a way. As well as I took a fiction writing class, which was really great, and also again helped me feel like I could like explore my narratives in a different way and with a different lens, and found that like through fiction you can express more truth than you can sometimes through like nonfiction and more like memoiric, diaristic type of ways, which is what I was normally doing before then.
It's interesting. The cross pollination of the things that you don't
Yeah.
necessarily expect to connect to one's work is always very fascinating to me. And so, you just graduated. Congratulations. Big whirlwind of all the emotions and things, I'm sure. What is something that you are sort of looking forward to the most as you are stepping outside of academia and heading into the world?
I would just say like the freedom to focus on multiple mediums and sort of to explore more mediums and just get more experience in that way, and like just not having the 10-week assignments too. Like SCAD is great and I love the quarter system, but I will say like only having 10 weeks to devote to a certain project can just like sometimes suck the life out of it in a way. So I'm excited to have more time to like build things over time, and just meet new people and sort of explore all the ways I can use photography and writing and all my other talents or whatever, to in different alternative ways, which I feel like you can only find by going out into the world. It's hard to like read about that and actually see yourself in it in a way.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Speaking of your work and speaking of the things that you do, I would love for folks to be able to get a glimpse and learn a little bit more about, your style and your inspirations. You've told us a little bit about some of the things that have inspired you. So if you are down, I'd love to see some of your work.
Awesome. Yes, I would love to share.
So this first piece, tell us more about this.
So this one is titled A Blue Jeaned Type of Love, and it was inspired by Warhol's Blue movie from 1969, which is very like controversial, but it's so funny because nowadays when we look at that, it doesn't seem very controversial, because it was essentially like a long form sex tape that was screened, and then people got arrested for screening it. But what I really love about that movie is that it focuses on like the very mundane aspects of intimacy, and it's sort of just this long shot following a couple in their apartment as the sun's setting, and a lot of it's just like conversations in bed. And so that's what I was getting at here, from a more sapphic lens. With two of my friends, I literally just came over and had the camera, and I was like, just talk and do what you would do on a normal Sunday afternoon in bed, which was really beautiful.
Very interesting. Like hearing the inspirations behind, this work. It's like, oh, that's okay. That's interesting. Love it. How about another piece? Show us something else.
Yes. So this one I titled Post-Ironic Fatale. Um, and in all honesty, like when I first came up with this idea, it was just to get a reaction because I really think reactionary work can be very useful in shifting perspectives, inciting discourse, even just within ourselves. And I wanted to represent like the self-destructive nature of sort of representing oneself as like a sex symbol of sorts and deconstructing that and, taking away the face and making it just the body. But having sort of an element of dark humor to make this subject matter something that's like a little bit more consumable rather than just like sad, I guess. Because I've really been interested in irony a lot lately as being like a reoccurring sort of signature throughout my work.
The creative process, the things that the robots can't put together because they're
True.
robots. Like we need all of this. And for me, as a non-photography expert, I mean, I look at this and I'm like, this could be like a fashion thing. This could be like a fine art thing. Like, do you have a particular lane that you're like, oh, this is kind of like what I would love to work in, or I'm kind of open to doing whatevs. Like talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I started in fashion. Obviously, I have my fashion photography minor, and I originally started with like a fashion marketing degree. And the reason I shifted sort of was because of how commercial fashion is and how limiting that is. Because really, what I like, I'm trying to stay true and value as I'm entering the job market is like this idea of independence and being able to maintain independence. And of course, I still like fashion, and I also do like documentary. Like you could consider the previous image to be documentary, but it can be fine art. So I like fine art because it's like this big umbrella term where a lot of like fashion photographers make fine art work on like using the sets that they're doing their commercial work on and sort of intermixing all of them and just having this like vision of being like, okay, I know what I want to do, what I want to say, and like I'll find whatever realm will take me and let me use that freedom. And particularly like publishing is more so in like books and even like digital galleries. I just want the work to be somewhere where like it can be found by other people. And I know this is a long-winded answer, but it informs it all. Yeah.
No, that's great. Long-winded is great. Say what's on your mind. Love it. All right. Why don't you show us one more piece?
Got you. So this one is titled One Way Ticket. And honestly, this was also just made out of boredom, which I think is a really powerful emotion, and we should like let ourselves be bored more because it allows for so much to come up. Because this was my friend
Robots
visiting.
cannot feel. Yes.
Yes, no, exactly. They can't be bored. But yeah, so this was my friend visiting and it was like one of their last days and I was like, let's just go take pictures. And I was like, oh, bring the suitcase. Like that was my idea to sort of have that symbol there. I sort of wanted to represent like the liminality with that suitcase of wanting to leave somewhere and being waiting to leave, but also having trouble with saying goodbye because it's like an uncertainty in which you're leaving with like, and it was so lucky to have the weather be all cloudy and gloomy and like these birds also like, I don't know if you can see, but the one in the bottom right has like a piece of meat in its mouth and they were just posing with us. Like it was a really great, thing that couldn't have been planned. And that's what I find a lot of like, empowerment in finding post-rationalization for the narrative and sort of letting this narrative be discovered after the images are taken. Because while I didn't really know that I was trying to represent this liminality, like I can look back now and see, oh, I chose to include the suitcase as the styling because I wanted to represent that feeling of leaving. And so, but that's not something that was conscious necessarily while I was doing it. But in allowing for the narrative to be built over time, I really feel like so much luck and nuance can be found there.
We are big fans of chance here at Could Be Pretty Cool. That's kind of how we got started. Let's just get a bunch of people together, put them in a room, see what happens. And I see with your work, like now that I see it, like now that you're talking about it, it's like, oh, yeah, I do notice the bird that just happened to be right there with some food in its mouth. And it's like, that's beautiful. Yes, we love that. So thank you so much for sharing those pieces with us. And I mean, already we can see that you have a vision, you have a voice, you have a style. And now we do the fun part of going out into the world and figure it out where that lands within the grand scheme of all the things. So tell us a little bit about your sort of future aspirations, maybe some of the things that you hope to do, places you hope to go, types of organizations or your own thing, some of the things that you're like, okay, you know what? This is what I want to do. At least, or what you think right now, because it might change over the next couple weeks, months, I don't know.
Right, yeah. Definitely New York is the first thing. That's like the first light I have. Just because especially with the work that I make, I feel like it fits the most into New York because New York just has this sort of like experimental, edgy, like I could use better words to describe it, but they have this sort of like very open-mindedness to things that are a little bit more socially taboo than other places. So I'm really looking forward to that and just being surrounded by that, all the galleries and the connections, and sort of staying open to whatever finds me. But I definitely do, and it's hard because like part of me wants to do the corporate thing and like secure the fundings, but also a part of me is like thinking that I kind of just want to work a day job and then be able to still support myself creatively and not give up that independence that I was talking about. Because I really just want to connect with other artists, like musicians and other photographers trying to build things, making zines together. Anybody who needs a photographer and like, or a ghostwriter, I would love to do ghostwriting, like little things like that, wherever I can fit in and just sort of finding other like-minded creators who might not necessarily have the funds to pay me at this point, but who we can build each other up and then eventually get the funds to make bigger projects in the future. And just anything indie. That's really what I've been into lately is like indie publications, indie gallery spaces, indie artists of any type. Like I just really like that sort of startup feel and hope to one day with these connections maybe build my own sort of like photo publication because there is a real gap in the market in like indie photo book publishers as opposed to like literary publishers and stuff.
Well, indie folks, indie orgs, Lauren is here now. Lauren is about to be out and available to do stuff and to link up and to make things. So, Lauren, how can these potential collaborators, stakeholders, colleagues, how can they find you?
Yes, definitely on Instagram at Lauren Knabel, but also my website, www.laurenknabel.com, and preferably email. This is my public plea to bring back emails over DMs. I love email, but DMs and my response time can vary.
Very cool. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for sharing your work. And again, congratulations. It is a wild ride out here, but it can be fun. It can be fun and exciting. And yes, using chance and whatever else happens to continue to grow as an artist is going to be an interesting ride. And we wish you all of the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.